Hey there, this is Natalie, and I'm making this video early on March the 4th, which is around the date we were expecting to start seeing some more credible Attack on Titan Chapter 138 leaks starting to come out, where the chapter will be being prepared for its official release date on the 9th. I'll be keeping you up to date on the latest about Attack on Titan Chapter 138 over the coming days, so please consider subscribing and ringing the bell for that. Now, the current situation is that there are two sets of supposed leaks going around on Twitter, which are both different from the March the 1st Baidu leaks, and probably the most widely talked about leaks, the Twitter leaks from user All Hail Erin that came out in early February, both of which I've already discussed in videos if you're interested in those. I'm not going to spend too much time on one of these sets of leaks, which came from somebody's Discord server and which were distributed in the tweet I'm showing on screen now, because first of all, they don't really make much sense, and secondly, it does look like someone has already admitted to making these up as bait, based on the tweet I'm showing now. But since there are people wondering about these leaks, I'll just quickly go through what happens in them. So it says the name of the chapter is Humanity's New Dawn, which is the same chapter name used in the March the 1st Baidu leaks, and it says, Zeke is gone to the paths, he's unknowing of his surroundings and is not in human form. Historia has finished labour and is not awake. The birth tension was overwhelming for her. Reiner was heavily injured during the explosion and dies after Armin rescued him. The parents and citizens are crying, and Mrs. Braun thinks her son is alive and a hero. Ymir has gone back to the paths, but the Titans she called still remained. Falco's Titan is knocked from the sky by a jumping Titan, and the scouts go flying. Levi lands hard on the ground and cannot get up. He's cursing, his leg got really injured. Jean tries to catch Peak, but his line gets caught and a horde comes after them. Connie was grabbed mid-air by a Titan and crushed in its jaws. Gabby screams, and Falco comes and kills the Titan. Armin has a monologue about losing faith and that everyone will have to die to give the world a future. He self-inflicts with broken bone fragments. It cuts back to the paths where Ymir meets Erin, and it shows a resemblance to Historia's baby. Panel is cut and shows panels of Mikasa, Jean and Peak fighting to the death, while Ymir explains that the world begins anew and ends with Armin opening his eyes. There's a lot that's weird in this. I mean, a jumping Titan that can reach Falco when he's flying, Armin injuring himself but not apparently causing the transformation nuke and killing all the other characters. This whole world begins anew thing, which hints at maybe some kind of time loop ending, and a lot of stuff that doesn't really seem to fit. Action-wise, this really just feels like the fight from the previous chapters is continuing, and that doesn't really seem like what we were gearing up for after the end of chapter 137. That chapter ending was a turning point in the climax, and so for it to continue to be the Alliance struggling against the past Titan shifters just seems weird. Annie not being mentioned at all is a bit sus too, as is the fact that Erin doesn't really appear in the chapter very much. If it was just made to troll people, then it seems to have worked though, because there are a lot of people very worried by the apparent deaths of Reiner and Connie. But as I said, someone is already claiming to have written these leaks just as a hoax, and I think there's more chance of that being true than of them being the real leaks. So let's move straight on to what seem to be the more credible of the two leaks, which come from an account called Ymir 2021-1, and this is a new account that the user claims to have created to distribute these leaks, but that's fairly normal. If someone has access to this kind of information, they're not realistically going to jeopardise their sources or job, or wherever they're getting it from, by using their normal Twitter account, so I wouldn't read anything into that. Now, these leaks say the chapter is called Curse, and they say Erin's founding Titan collapses to the ground, Reiner gets his Helos moment, not quite but still, Mikasa's resolution, Fort conclusion is crucial, warrior parents have some flashbacks of their children, with Karina and Mr. Leonhardt being the focus, Historia has issues giving birth, Erin and Historia's flashback concludes, a shard is explained, a forgotten memory is shown, Ymir speaks, the Paths tree appears in the real world, Eren wakes up and uses the coordinate and the rumbling resumes. Mikasa sees Ymir and she tries to cut through her, but Eren summons his attack titan and stops Mikasa. Mikasa grabs her scarf, saying, "If you win, you live. If you lose, you die. But if you don't fight, you can't win." And the last page is Mikasa using her 3D maneuver gear against the attack titan. Now, the user says that this is just a summary that they're going to update with text translations, and they also expect to have images at the weekend. And if these turn out to be the real ones, and that happens, I will cover the chapter in more detail then. But for now, this chapter summary, while intriguing, is a bit hard to follow. The chapter title being Curse would hopefully mean there is some resolution to the curse of Ymir, which counts in its favour for me. And we also get what seems like moments to tie up the arcs of Reiner and Mikasa, as well as finding out the truth about Historia's baby, and presumably whether Eren is the father. And these were all things that were missing from the earlier leaks, and which felt like they would really need to be addressed at this point. But if this is the real chapter, it also seems that chapter 139 is not going to be just an epilogue at all, because as well as claiming this chapter will answer a lot of questions, including the long-running memory shard mystery, it also seems to raise quite a few new developments, like the Paths tree appearing, the rumbling resuming, and of course the cliffhanger fight between Mikasa and Eren. Some people are questioning where Mikasa got her scarf from, but she did say earlier that she had it but wasn't wearing it, so I think Isayama has covered himself for an appearance by the scarf in the climax. Now, while we really don't know a lot of detail yet, I personally would like to see this be the chapter. It does have a lot of exciting sounding developments in it, and with the rumbling restarting but not simply killing everyone without them getting to confront Eren, it manages to keep the possibility for a dark and fitting ending while not feeling quite as empty of meaning for a lot of characters as the February leaks version. As I said, I'll cover these chapter 138 leaks as and when they get expanded with translations and images, and we can get a better feel for what's really happening here. But if these are the real ones, then I think this could well be a banger of a chapter that not only gives us a lot to get our teeth into, but also keeps the tension going right into chapter 139, rather than basically rounding off all the drama and action and just leaving us with the last chapter as an epilogue. So, we can have another whole month of Attack on Titan ending anxiety. But that's all I've got for now. Let me know what you think of these leaks in the comments, and make sure you're subscribed for more coverage of the Attack on Titan manga ending as things develop. If you want to see more Attack on Titan ending stuff right now, I have videos about the Season 2 ending theory, and various other theories and supposed leaks that have come out about chapter 138 over the past few weeks. So take a look at the Attack on Titan manga playlist. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon.